r/askreddit, what were some inventions people thought would be essential in everyday life that at the present are not? Every time it's referenced I cringe. It's the Facebook NFT, and everyone who got into it did it as an investment hoping to resell to losers. Metaverse. Hats. Up until 70 years ago everyone wore a hat, and the style and materials of that hat defined your social class. It was unthinkably uncivilized to leave one's home without a hat on. Even for men. This was the way things worked for centuries. Then poof, hats disappeared from most daily fashions. I had heard that it was the invention of the car headrest that killed them off. Jetpacks, man. They've been the dream of every sci-fi fan for ages, and we've seen some wild prototypes pop up over the years. But nope, we're still not zipping around like the Jetsons, all thanks to stuff like crazy costs, safety worries, and the fact that they can only keep us airborne for a hot minute. Bummer, right? Man, I don't need some creep with a jetpack peeping in my windows on the 30th floor, or coming in through the sliding glass door on my balcony. Dirigibles, e.g. Zeppelins, that whole Hindenburg fire thing wasn't great for business. They're coming back, Link. Flying cars and Android housekeepers are things I was led to believe would be ubiquitous by the time I was starting my own family. Here I am almost 40 and neither is likely to become essential in my lifetime. Or my son's. It's not rosy, but Roombas are becoming popular. Anybody else remember that period of like 3 to 4 months where the world was convinced that segways were going to be so important that cities would be built around them? Instead they're mostly just there for mall security and tourist traps. Hoverboards tried to make the same revolution a decade later and yeah, same nothing. Flying cars. People are bad enough on roads, we don't need to add another spatial dimension to it. Roads. Where we're going we don't need roads. Rollerblades and Segway. A lot of people said they were a perfect alternative to walking. I want a Segway. Prices are not helping. I had rollerblades as a teenager. We skated every day, played street hockey, skating rink on weekends. I lost the ability to skate on the normal ones. It kept me healthy but made my calves huge, no cute boots for me. I'm now knocking on 40 and I think I'd probably end up in the hospital if I tried to put on any kind of skates these days. You know those skateboards with 2 wheels? I used to want one so badly, because I thought everyone rode them and would ride them, but a few years later I don't see a single person riding a skateboard like that anymore. More tablets. Almost everyone used to use them, everyone had them, but now I rarely see anyone using a tablet instead of a phone. They even used to make phone calls, though. That's because skateboards with 4 wheels are much easier to ride and already existed. Landline telephone. It used to be a requirement on applications. Now, no one cares. That's not an example of something people thought would be essential. Landline phones certainly were very important for decades. Just because we have better technology now doesn't mean people were wrong to ever think they would be essential. I feel like televisions are on the cusp right now. Growing up before 2000, it would have seemed strange if a classmate said they didn't have a TV in their house. Now, so many get their entertainment streamed over phone or computer, I'd no longer be surprised to hear someone goes without one. My understanding is that they failed in part because it was unclear whether they should be written on the sidewalk, or in the street. Lots of disability activists didn't want them on the sidewalk and the bicycle lobbyists didn't want them in the bike lane. Most, all. TVs are computers now. Motorcycles in the USA, almost every other nation uses them to combat against inflated gas prices, not here lol we doubled down on cars. Because the majority of people driving on the road are selfish assholes and motorcycles are incredibly unsafe. I don't care how safe of a driver you are, most people on the road are not. Deleted. Quantum computing and graphene applications are both still making progress. Man, I actually enjoyed Google+. When I was a kid, everyone assumed it was a picture phone. So everyone could see the face of whoever they are talking to. Fast forward to today, where every Zoom meeting we have no one turns their own camera on because we hate what we look like. Is my hair that gray? Ugh, turn the camera off. I love video calls with my sister and nieces. My co-workers. That means putting a shirt on. I work from home, why do I need to be wearing a shirt? I remember reading Heinlein lecturing in his books on the importance of slide rules in rocketry and astronavigation. At least one of his novels had a crewman on a spaceship using a slide rule. 3D TV. Tablets. I notice more just use their phones because they serve the same purpose at a better convenience, even in work environments. I scoffed at the iPad saying it was a very inconvenient version of a laptop, but they have found their niche and I can see why people like them. Even owned a couple but barely used them. I use my tablet all the time. Granted, it doesn't really leave the house though. The only thing tablets have over phones are bigger screens, but that gap slowly closing. Buggy whips. Before seeing your comment, I reflexively was going to go with just buggy, but buggy whips is even better. And I bet the last company around was the one that made the best goddamn buggy whip you ever saw. They are very much in high demand for use within the bedroom. Or so I heard. People thought video calls would completely replace all telephone calls. Now it's mainly texting, and a lot of people find video calls annoying. Even during 2020 lockdown, my two brothers hated having Zoom dinners and we eventually stopped doing them. To be fair, my one brother is an urban planner and had to be on Zoom pretty much all day. Maybe PDAs. Personal digital assistants. It was going to be a daily use electronic for keeping track of what you needed to do every day and the information needed for those days, such as phone numbers, dates, etc. You would always have it with you and it would be the tracker for your daily life. It would well assist you as a personal digital device. I bought one myself, but never used it and I don't think it caught on. I'm old enough now to have seen 3D come and go multiple times. Back when the original Avatar movie came out, everyone was saying that every movie would need to be in 3D from now on. They just merged with dumb phones and became the modern cell/mobile phone. Thinking of when I was a kid, things we thought were forever: cord phones, cassettes, VCR, garbage compactors, gas-powered lawn equipment, plug-in drills. In my teens I couldn't imagine anything replacing CDs for media, music, movies, games. Smartphones, the cloud, online digital media, Wi-Fi, and lithium batteries really have changed the world. Blockbuster. The Google Eyeglass. Smart kettles and fridges, and smart everything else. Imagine if your family is arguing about who ate the last piece of X, and your fridge announces, "It was so and so," and then makes the law and amp, order * done done star. In seriousness though, the world went mad making as many things smart, and then there was a microchip shortage. And we forget how these things are made and how the materials/resources are mined. Pagers. I still don't know what a slide rule is and I'm too afraid to ask. To be fair, they were never essential in everyday life unless you were an engineer or mathematician or something in that field. Interesting skill to learn nonetheless, if kind of useless in this day and age. Used to keep one on my desk at work and actually used it from time to time. Yup, I'm a nerd. Basically everything after napped rocks, or maybe fire. Balloons to walk across lakes. Metaverse. Don't forget the literal boat shoes. Palm pilots. My great-great-grandfather invented a milk carton that was easily openable at the top and bottom. It's only still used at like one gas station in his hometown. According to my grandpa, great-great-grandfather thought his milk carton was the bee's knees and was going to catch on eventually. They haven't. Xbox Kinect. Letters. I love how desperate this giant corporation is for us to adapt it, while the world shrugs its shoulders. We're gonna make an MMO, except it'll be lame and we expect you to use it for work. I don't think anyone but Facebook investors thought that was going anywhere.